That's your boy. For all you guys that never saw me coming to before I started coming to Colombia, that's me in Tampa, Florida. I was 285 pounds. The Ultimate Warrior says this with the $4.99. He said, I snack on fruits overseas. Yes, sir. Yep. He said, it's so expensive to live healthy in the USA. It is expensive.
Let me address him, and I want to address 2 points. There's a gentleman who put something in your chat, and this is a shout out to a Big Pit, and we're going to address this. Big Pit said, my doctor just put me on vitamin D. Think of how much BS that is, man. Your vitamin D is right outside. It's the summertime. You got free vitamin D. So what you were talking about before, Andrew, was that Andre, I'm sorry, my brother. I got Andrew.
No problem.
What you were talking about before, Andre, was they don't treat the problem. They rather give you a pill. They'd rather say, yes, hey, go take this medication and get better. Your doctor should have told you, sir, the best time, dude, get you a morning walk outside. When the rays are up right in the morning, you get your vitamin D. Make sure
that's it.
There. Instead, what they do is say, here, take this pill to heal you. That's the craziest thing in the world. And that's what we do. We don't treat the problem. We think a pill is going to cure you instead of saying, hey, what is the root cause of why you're having this? Why aren't you going outside? Get 15 minutes in the morning. We don't do it. We want to give you a pill for everything you have instead of saying, hey, why don't you change your diet? Why don't you add some more water to your supplementation? Why don't you walk upstairs instead of driving everywhere? We don't do that. Whenever I'm in the United States, I have to wear my watch just to make sure I'm trying to get 10,000. When I'm out of the country, it's not even, I'm getting 10,000. As they used to say in the Army, I do more before 9 a.m. than most people do all day. That's how it is. I'm getting steps without even knowing I'm getting steps, just because that's how it is. You're walking, you're outside, you're going places. Here, we are so accustomed to being locked in this air conditioner, not sweating, not getting those impurities out, none of those things, that it's bad. Even on our skin, we love the hot water. Hey, I love, my wife thought I was going to burn her skin off when she first came here because I take the showers hot, but that's not the best for your skin. Taking that restriction of that cold water, restricting your blood vessels. That is the perfect thing, but you won't know it. You won't know that because that's what we've been led to believe, that all this is bad. And the thing is, you've been tricked. I'm going to tell you how I was tricked. Let me tell you how bad we tricked. When I was in college, I used to get something called Honey O's because I couldn't afford the real ones. The real Honey Nut Cheerios, whatever it is. Right. It was like $2 or $3 more. So I was always getting the bargain brand. When I finally got some money and brought the real ones, I was like, these don't taste good. Yeah. I was so accustomed to the junk and the off-brand that the real stuff was bad to me. And so when you guys go out and you're starting to taste chicken that is real chicken, food that is real food, your mind is going to play tricks on you. And your mind is going to say, this doesn't taste good because you've been injected with the hormones, all of the soy, and you wonder why. At least we're kind of like Generation X. We come up where we at least had some good food, before. Right. Food. But why you guys, younger guys, are a little more feminine. Your testosterone is low. Back in the day, my dad was older. My dad had me when, he produced me when he was 40. I had uncles, that were 60. They ain't had to go nowhere for no sperm. We start putting that soy and stuff, all of those chemicals and the plastics, reduces our testosterone. We don't have any of that. And then we wonder why we can't have kids. We wonder why our sperm is defective. And that's a man's health. So just imagine with a woman's health doing the same thing. They're taking all the chemicals in. It's messing their immune system up. And there was a gentleman talking about how women, when they are ovulating, they look for a masculine man, a man with a chisel on. He's strong, he's firm, because in their mind, biologically, they don't know it. They want to reproduce with a man who is alpha, who's going to do that. Just like when we're looking for those hips, we're looking for certain attributes. Well, what happened? Women start taking more birth control, more things. Now they don't have the same ovulation. They start going toward feminine men because they aren't attracted to the masculine men anymore. They're attracted to more feminine men. So everything we're putting in our system is wrecking us, man. It is wrecking us, brother.
Kings and Dreams just asked us a few minutes ago, and we had touched on this before you came on, Jay, about Coca-Cola. We were talking about how the ingredients, realize this, the ingredients for many of the snacks, the drinks, and things like that, this is the crazy part, from the same company that's producing it or manufacturing it in the United States, literally has a different recipe for different countries. So the Coca-Cola that you are drinking in the United States is not the same Coca-Cola that's in Mexico, Colombia, and other locations. Just, if you guys want to do something before you come to Colombia, turn around the bottle of Coca-Cola when you got your store and take a screenshot. So next time you go to DR, next time you go to Mexico, next time you come to Colombia or Brazil, take a screenshot of Coca-Cola in Brazil and see what the difference is, how much the difference is in ingredients. As we were saying before, ladies and gentlemen, food was never created to last. It's created to consume. Only in the United States or in the West are they creating foods that last weeks upon, like one person had, I don't know if you ever saw that news headline or where a person had it was a Big Mac and French fries, and this guy had it from the 80s, and it had not decayed. The bread from the 80s had not decayed. The French fries that he had from the 80s had not decayed. The burger, the lettuce, none, the ketchup, mayonnaise had not decayed. It was as if he had just went to McDonald's that same day and got a Big Mac. And I forgot how many thousands of dollars somebody bought off of him on eBay, but it was like 1983, something like that. And it was just McDonald's French fries and a Big Mac. He had held on to it that long, and it had not decayed at all. The bread didn't mold or anything. Food is not. Go ahead.
No, I want you to think about how we have been brainwashed. Usually when I go out of the country, I'll go to the store and I'll get like the sack of chocolates because I want to give it out to the kids. And they're like, wow, chocolate, man, we're getting like chocolate. And I thought, man, they don't really do chocolate. It's not that. The chocolate there, just think about this. The candy bars in DR cost more than the mangoes. In the United States, the mangoes cost more than the candy bars. So if you want to eat nutritiously,
it's a good point.
In the United States, where there people are saying, you know what? Oh, you want a snack? Your snack is fruit. Oh, you want another snack? Give me some plantains, things like that are nutritious. When we want a snack, it's everything that has to do with sugar, sweets, anything like that. It's all bad. And we are willing to pay for the bad. They are getting something good. And we've been tricked in our mind to think that we're getting something good when we say, hey, give me that Oreo, or hey, give me those chips, or give me that. Even this, brother, when I was in DR, we brought back like about 3 or 4 bags of the plantain chips, man, where they would slice the it was like potato chips, but natural plantains. It was just sliced, a little bit of salt on it. That's it.
I know exactly what you're talking about. We got them here in Colombia.
Yep. Nothing like this.
In a clear bag.
In clear bags.
Clear bag.
Hey, we get the worst. We get, you look on there, it says plantains, salt. You go to get Doritos. Oh, man, you don't know what is in those Doritos. They've been tricking us that long. The other countries don't go through what we go through, man. We are getting poisoned. And here's another thing. I think the reason we even have the longevity that we do have isn't because the United States is great. It's because by the time we get old, they put so much medication and so many pills and so many things to keep us going. We got to treat your diabetes. We got to treat this. We are loaded up with so much medication that we don't have a quality of life. We've just lived maybe long, but our quality of life is zero, man. I told you before, I went to Cuba. We went to a place where it was, I guess, the oldies but goodies. All of these people were like the old Cuban singers and the salsa. On stage, there was no one younger than 75. That means everybody on stage, not sitting down on stage, not stumped over on stage. I'm talking about dancing, salsa, singing. This was a 3-hour show. They went on. There was one lady that was 82 years old, and I swear she was 40. She up there dancing, she doing all this because of the food they eat. Here, you got 80 people, 80-something-year-old that look like they ready for the grave. These people look like they had still another 20 years left in them. Yeah. So me, if it's not me, how long I live, it's the quality of life that we have. You were in Cuba too. How many obese people did you see in Cuba, man?
How many? What was the type of people?
Obese, fat.
No.
You don't see.
No, you're not gonna see that. No, that's no.
No, back in the day. Now it's changed now because America, we bring processed food anywhere. When I used to go to Colombia, this would be early 2000s. Same with DR, same in all the Latin American countries. You know how I knew that if they were Latino, but you know how I knew if it was a Latino that lived in the United States and was visiting their family? Because they was fat.
Yep.
That's how you know that person lives in the United States. They just there visiting. Because when they get around their family, none of their family's fat. It's all them. I used to date this girl. She's like, yeah, it's just something in the water in the United States. I was like, nah, baby, it ain't the water. It's that food you eat. You know,
I didn't recognize Andrea's best friend. She got caught in the States during COVID. She was there and this is a sister. She got caught there for a conference. She was called there to be like the Afro-Colombian representative for Colombia, for the sisterhood. So it was this Black women's convention, and COVID had hit while she was over there for the convention. So she got stuck the whole year in the United States. Bruh. Andrea had me talking one day, and she was going through her phone, and I was like, "Who was that?" She said, "That's so." I say, "What? Who was that?" Her friend, who have always had a very attractive frame. I didn't recognize her at all. It was like they were on the beach, and she wasn't even facing the camera. I was like, "Who was that?" I say, "That's your girl looking like that." She had only been in the States for like 9 months to a year. That's all it took for her to blow up. And some people could say, well, it was COVID. Everybody was in the house. In the United States, y'all wasn't in the house. That's the last thing that y'all was doing. Every state was doing something different. And so it does, go to show you. And I like what Kings and Dreams said, Cuba hits different. He's absolutely correct. What they're doing down there as far as always walking, always in the sun. So they're always getting the health benefits from walking, the health benefits of their pores being cleansed while they're sweating out the impurities, and at the same time drinking healthier water, things like that. So they're always out there. Same thing with many countries in Europe. We don't even have to go to Cuba. Many countries in Europe have bike lanes. Yeah. Rent a bike, rent a scooter. Always have you outdoors. It's no coincidence that the cities are set up for you to take a train somewhere or public transportation somewhere, to where even when you get off the train or public transportation, you're still going for a walk. You're walking up hills in Italy. You're walking down hills in Greece. You're walking around the streets of UK. So you're always in walking mode and using energy, to whereas in the United States, you go from your car, you go to your desk. You go from your desk, you go sit down for lunch break instead of going to a park for a walk. You sit down, do your lunch break, then you go back to your desk and sit down for a few hours. Then you go sit in your car for about 30 minutes to 2 hours, depending on what the traffic is like. And then you go home tired and you sit down for the rest of the day, year in, year out. So let's before you go any further, let me let you go ahead and finish what you're about to say, and then we're gonna go to the next videos.
I want to think about your kids when you're growing up. The kids I see grew up with Pop-Tarts.
Come on,
the Lego My Eggo waffles with a whole bunch of syrup on it. I had, you get the milk where you put all the chocolate syrup to get your chocolate milk. Kids in other countries don't grow up like that, man. Also, you talked about lunch. How many times when you was in the United States, you said you worked at the school and you're like, man, I got a meeting. Right. You hear eating lunch as fast as you don't even taste the food. You just down in whatever lunch, whatever burger you got. You don't know what it tastes like. You just, and you got a big soda thing like this, the big gulp. You took that down. I got,
not a big gulp.
You don't taste the food anymore. In other countries, it's cooked for, it's more relaxing. You got an hour and a half lunch break where you are actually relaxing and enjoying your food. We scarf it down and then we wonder why we eat. And then an hour later, we're like, man, I'm still hungry because of all the bad stuff we ate, man.
Yep. So true. Let's go to the next part. That's a great point. And this gentleman is he's comparing different countries of his experience.
2 months ago, I went to one of the most obese countries in the world, America, where statistically 1 in 3 people are overweight.
Don't let that slide by. In America, statistically, 1 in 3 people are overweight.
Yep. After eating at their restaurants, I could definitely see why.
Bloody hell. This is America summed up.
It's like half a pig.
Now, I came back from that trip with one simple question. If this is the food from one of the most obese countries in the world, what is the least obese country in the world? Vietnam, with an obesity rate of 2.1%. This intrigued me a lot. I wanted to see why this number was so low. Yeah, of course, economic reasons is a fact. But I wanted to see what the food was like here. So the next day, I booked tickets to the capital city of Vietnam, Hanoi. And 17 hours of plane journeys later, your boy arrived. I'm absolutely starving. Let's find some breakfast. Can I get this, please? Thank you. What is the least obese country in the world? Vietnam, with an obesity rate of 2.1%. Can I get this, please? Thank you. I started the morning off with what I'd seen all around the streets of Hanoi, coconuts. Very refreshing. Very refreshing. Yes, the coconuts were lovely and refreshing, however, they only had 19 calories inside, so I needed to find some actual proper food. Eventually, I found this beautiful looking place. Okay, so we've come to some, just some local place which is very busy, so I assume that the food's good. I need some calories, I'm starving. The food got served, some beef, rice, salads, and then a weird pastry looking thing. Let's hope they've cooked this quite well.
I'm waiting for you to have a bite first.
To my surprise, the food was pretty good, so my empty stomach absolutely devoured it down. Snack, pineapple.
Come on now.
Fucking amazing.
Yep.
Which country in Africa has the healthiest food? According to an international study published by the medical journal The Lancet, which looked at diet trends in different countries between 1990 and 2010, these countries had lower obesity-related conditions, high intakes of nutritious foods, and low consumption of unhealthy or junk food, classifying them as the top 5 healthiest countries in Africa. Number 5 on the list, Uganda. Ugandan cuisine is rich in dark leafy greens such as spinach or collard greens. Beans, legumes, and green banana are also really nutritious foods that are staples in the diet. Number 4, Sierra Leone. Sierra Leonean food is dubbed healthy because it's rich in fish, which is typically rich in omega-3 fatty acids. It's rich in plantains, which are rich in fiber and nutrients, and vegetable stews made with nutritious ingredients such as okra or eggplants or cassava leaves are also staples. Number 3, we have Mali. Food in Mali is rich in nutritious grains such as millet. Leafy green staples such as spinach or kale or collard greens are also typically eaten, and legume-based dishes are common. Number 2, the Gambia. Gambian food is also rich in seafood, leafy greens, and tons of fruits such as mangoes or papayas. Can you guess what the number 1 healthiest country in Africa is? Well, according to the study, number 1 is Chad. Food in Chad is rich in fiber from the consumption of grains such as millet and sorghum. Lentils, beans, chickpeas, and other legumes are also staples in the diet. Vegetable stews made with okra or soups made with meats and lean cuts of meats and fish are also staples in the diet. Do you agree with the list?
There we go. It's pause right there. We got a little bit more to go, but let's pause right there. Could you see how the difference between my man experience between the U.S. and then when he went to Vietnam?
Yes. And here's one of the reasons. You know, I used to train, do some, I didn't bodybuild, but I hung with the guys I trained that did the bodybuilding. You know, the reason they got to eat all day, when you look at somebody like Ronnie Coleman or Phil Heath, is because when you eat nutritious food, it really doesn't have a lot of calories. You take a chicken breast and you take some rice. I mean, you're like at 200, 250 calories. It's not a lot of calories. You know, you can take a dozen eggs. They got about 60 calories. So you can take a dozen eggs, cook a dozen eggs and be at 600 calories. You can eat a burger and be at 1,000. That dozen eggs, you try to tell someone, hey, you got to eat a dozen eggs. You're eating this. That's why they have to eat all day, because to eat nutritiously, there's not a lot of calories in it. Huh? You know, you drink orange juice and you compare that to an orange, you're entirely different. You're not getting no processed food. So the reason those other countries there's no obesity, because they're eating food. I know that sounds crazy. Let me say that again. They're eating food. In the United States, we are not eating food. We're eating something that is processed. Other countries are eating food. We don't eat food. I don't know what we eat. We eat something completely different. You go to somewhere else and they're eating food, your experience is entirely different. And that it makes it much harder to get to your 2,000 or 2,500 calories, because you don't have those same things. You're not eating the soda, any of those things. So have you seen that? I know you probably lost some weight since you've been there.
Oh yeah, I'll be coming up on the video. You'll be seeing me in a second. Oh yeah. Oh man, D-Pain in the building. Shout out to you, D-Pain, once again. He says, my Mexican homegirl moved to Nigeria with her Nigerian boyfriend and said that she lost 30 pounds without even trying.
No trying. That's
not even trying.
So all you guys who need Ozempic and you know, the diabetes shot, and they're doing all of that, it's your diet, because that's the first thing they say change. When you go somewhere, they say, what are you eating? How's your diet? That lets you know right there that the first thing is what you're putting in your system is affecting your system. Yeah.
And that goes also, like you were mentioning earlier, testosterone, as well as your prostate. I mean, not your prostate, but your performance when it comes to intimacy. Some of you guys wondering why some of these old dudes in other countries can still bang some of these young girls and drive these young girls crazy in South America or in the Caribbean, is because of their diets and because of these guys. I've never seen this before, and it's the first time I'm going to say this. I have never seen so many chiseled homeless people in my life. It's till I moved to South America. There are some homeless people that are small and skinny, just like regular homeless people. But it's not uncommon for you to come across somebody that's homeless and they chop the heck up chisel. They may be skinny, but it's all muscle. And you look like, wait a minute, this dude, his hair might be looking crazy, beard might be looking crazy. He might only got a pair of pants on and no shoes, but his body is sliced up like he been in. And I've seen that over and over and over and over again in South America. What am I saying? I know people that are homeless that look better than many people I know that have money in the United States. And that's a shame.
Yep. And you know how I've seen it? When I see those young guys and not like an older guy, and they go to shake my hand, and you know how they got the veins and everything popping out? You can see that it's like a bodybuilder's veins, man. It's no fat, it's muscle. You see the cut in their shoulders where the shoulder separated from the tricep. It is so weird to see an old guy and they're not flexing. You see him do something and this tricep pop out. You're like, what the heck? Where'd that come from, man? And it's natural.
That's it.
That's natural. All natural. None of that stuff that we do to get there. I don't know how we do it. And then another thing I also want to talk about. I know we're talking about nutrition. Guys, think about this. How many other countries how we artificially do so much stuff. even your mothers, they don't even breastfeed you no more, man. You getting Similac. So they training you from the time you were birthed to have things that aren't nutrition. You got a mama, they got 2 breasts right here full of food, and they rather give you Similac. That's the crazy part, man. We're so brainwashed that we're substituting the natural things that's coming out of a woman's body for something that we can buy in the store. Y'all spending money.
Everything needs to be of convenience. Timothy says this. He said, Andre, NAD, since I'm eating American food all my life, like most of us, he said, should I hire a dietitian to learn to eat right? I would say this, and let me hear what you have to say, AD. I would say start not necessarily with a dietitian, but start doing research on what foods that are in the states that work well with you, and which ones in the states that you need to let go of. Mm-hmm. Because they're like Aaron said, it's kind of funny. He's right. If you see, we drive past the Korean store. Yeah. We drive past the Chinese grocery store. We drive past. You guys are in Walmart all the time. There's a section for the Latin people section. There's only healthy Latin food. And you will walk. Brother, I didn't even realize there was a Latin section in most grocery stores until I moved to South America and went back to America. And guess what section is the only section that I eat out of in Walmart now?
Yep. Latin section.
Mainly the Latin section. So I'm like, okay, they got plantain. Let me go ahead and get that. Oh, they got this over here. Oh, all these Latin all the recipes that I know, I can eat and enjoy, and just don't have to only eat from the American sections, but those other sections and those other grocery stores that you drive past that have really healthy foods, because they make sure that their food comes directly from their country. So they're like, okay, now I can make this recipe like back home. And so a lot of times I would say start going to the grocery stores of other countries that are located in the United States. That's one tip I have for somebody. But like AD was saying, get out and get some sun. Get out and start exercising, start walking. I'm not saying that you're a big person, but even if you're a person that's fit, if you're not getting the correct amount of melanin into your system and the correct amount of the vitamin D into your body, it doesn't matter how fit you look on the outside. There's still some things that you need to acquire from the sun, from exercise, from not only sweating in the gym, but sweating just in general to release all the impurities that should not be in your body from the foods that we eat.
Even our dress.
The farmers. I was doing the farmers market too. Go ahead, brother.
Even the way we dress. The way we dress is to give the illusion that we aren't fat. Remember, we used to have the baggy clothes, t-shirts, the extra large. That's to cover us up because we fat. When you go out of the country, the women don't dress like that. The men don't dress like that. It's fitted clothes, fits to your body, contours to your body. You'll see entirely different because their body shape is entirely different than our body shape. You don't see that when you go out. So that's, one of the crazy parts, that even how we dress is to hide how we look because we that obese.
That is so true. It's Polary was me. It probably was me. I like that. Shout out to you, brother.
My face, goddammit. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Don't play with me.
Shout out to us Detroit boys, but I didn't mean to hit that one. It probably was me. I like that name. He said, I lost 7 pounds and he said in a week, every time I go to DR in Colombia, and I don't even have to work out. He said, I had debilitating. There we go. Debilitating migraines. Oh man, I had a migraine one time. For you guys that deal with migraines on a regular, hats off. He said I had migraines. He say since the army, and even those are less frequent while I'm overseas. While this man is overseas, just like the woman at the beginning of the video, she said eating overseas will literally save your life. I kid you not. If it were, I like what there's a black doctor, young guy who's going. His channel's blown up. He's almost like 1 million subscribers right now on YouTube. Young dude, and he gives advice. And the first bit of advice that they said, "What if you caught cancer? What would you do? Any type of cancer? What would you do?" You know what this brother said?
Well, I already know. I bet, but go ahead.
He said, I would immediately cut all sugars out of my diet, and I would get a flight outside the United States.
Because people don't know that cancer, the fuel for cancer is sugar.
It's sugar.
It fuels your cancer.
Yes, it does.
Yep, they don't know that.
Yes, it does.
Yep.
And Timothy said this. He said, I meant if I were in Colombia, since I eat American. No, you ain't got to do nothing. Once you land, you good. Mm-hmm. You don't need a nutritionist. You don't need a dietitian. Brother, every restaurant you go to is your nutritionist and dietitian.
Yeah.
When you go to DR as well. Yeah, Bobby Price. Shout out to you, brother. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, Dr. Bobby Price. I'll never forget. I started following him about a year ago. Hey, do me a favor, D-Pain. If you guys, any of you guys can, if you see Dr. Price's channel, drop the link to his channel so a lot of guys can subscribe tonight, because he gives great advice. And I'll never forget that it was a YouTube short that he did. And somebody asked, well, what would you do if you got cancer? He said, I would literally eliminate all sugary foods or any type of sugar in my diet. And then he said, I would get a ticket outside the United States. He said, I would have to eat foods from other countries that are healthy for me, that are not processed with a lot of the unnecessary things in there for me to be able to beat this cancer. For me to be able to beat this cancer. So shout out to the doc. Let's go back to the video real quick. Finish off continue on with the next portion.
I'm an American that lives in the UK, and I have American bread, and I want to compare it to UK bread. Let's go. Stay to the end, and I'll put the ingredients side by side on the screen for you guys so you guys can look at it and compare them. First off, let's address the size. American, here from the UK, oh my gosh, I love the size of your guys' bread. This, you make a sandwich out of this does not fill you up. No. And then you kind of want to make another sandwich, and 2 of these is too much. So literally 1.5, basically. This is the perfect size. Absolutely love it. All right, back to the American bread. Yeah, so they put so much crap in our food, guys, over in the States. It's ridiculous. This slice of bread will stay fine, not get moldy at all for weeks, maybe even over a month or maybe 2 months. Like, I'm not even kidding you guys. UK bread, watch this. Oh,
there we go.
That was satisfying. This just, no. Anyways, UK bread, this stuff, you have got to make sure you seal it tight because it will go moldy right away. And I love that. That just shows how healthy this bread is compared to the American bread. Okay, I really don't want to eat the American bread. It's been so long, but I'm going to do it for you guys. That is so dry. That is so stiff. Not tasty at all. But just like I remembered it. All right, UK bread. Oh my gosh. I wish you guys could jump through the screen right now and try this with me. It's so soft. Like, look at that. So delicious. So, 0 out of 10, solid 10 out of 10.
Big Teal in the building once again. Welcome to Dallas. Welcome to Texas. Welcome to the States.
American food is cool, but South African food is the best.
I used to weigh 500 pounds.
500.
All right. 500 pounds. Okay. Somebody Google a picture. Put Google a picture of what I used to look like.
That's your boy. For all you guys that never saw me pre coming to before I started coming to Colombia, that's me in Tampa, Florida. I was 285 pounds. As I started coming to Colombia and started realizing how healthy the foods were, as I'm exercising, as I walked, you guys can tell the difference between when I was in the States and in Colombia. So when I tell you guys that, yeah, your boy was a big boy. Was a big boy. That picture I took, I forget what year it was. That was, I think it was Clearwater Beach. I think it was Clearwater Beach when I took that photo. There you go. Man. Come on now.
I mean,
come on now,
brother. I'm not saying nothing. It just
come on now.
You was looking bad. You was looking bad.
I was looking bad.
Your head was even big. Ain't that crazy?
Come on now.
Your head.
Hey. That's what you call a milk dud.
Man.
That's what you call a real milk dud. Come on now. I had the audacity to be smiling with a milk dud.
And you see the clothes you was wearing. You was wearing them big boy clothes, trying to cover it up.
The big boy clothes. You can't cover up big boy. See what I'm saying? Yeah. Looking like a can of biscuits. Yes, I was, without a doubt.
And I bet your skin is even healthier, man.
Oh, man, listen. As years go by, man, I just get younger and younger and younger. I'm supposed to be 57 in 3 months. I know dudes that don't look nothing like I do at 47. I know some dudes that's 37 that look older than I do. Yeah, I had that Barry Bonds, didn't I? For real. Barry looking good now, though. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. Barry lost that weight. Shoot, man. Barry looking good right now. I saw Barry on Netflix last week. So definitely, guys, if you take care of your body in other countries, start exercising, everything. I'm living proof that, yeah. Let's continue on.
You know how I got to 500 pounds? On delicious American food.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I know you're probably thinking, oh, big, they got all the poisons in there. And all the stuff that your body don't need.
Artificial.
But that's me right there.
No, that's not you.
Yes, that is me.
You can do the splits.
American food.
Fat. Mac and cheese.
Burgers.
Unhealthy.
American food.
Sexy lingerie. McDonald's.
Very heavy, very greasy, big portions.
Obesity.
Bread, maybe, and cheese.
Junk food, basically.